everyone, welcome to my channel Science at a Click. This video will see about the anatomy of flowering plants and study about the types of tissues involved. First, let us know what is plant anatomy. Plant anatomy is the study of internal structure of plant. So we know that the plant is made up of different types of cells, so this also includes the internal structure. So cell is the basic unit of life and all the organisms are made up of cell. This also includes the plant. These cells get organized into tissues and the tissues are further organized into organs. Hence, we can say that tissue is a group of cells which have a common origin and they usually perform a common function. In plants, there are two types of tissues. One is the cells which make up the tissues and second is the location of these tissues in the plant body. In this video, we'll be focusing about the types of cells which make up these tissues. Based on the types of cells, there are two types of tissues in plants. One is the meristematic tissue and other is the permanent tissue. The meristematic tissue constitutes of the dividing cells. These are capable of stretching, enlarging and differentiating in other types as they mature. They are majorly responsible for the plant growth. Meristematic tissue is of two types, primary and secondary. The primary meristems occur in the early life of the plant and are involved in the plant development. Whereas the secondary or the lateral meristem, these occur in the mature regions of the plant root and shoot and are known to occur after primary meristems. Based on the primary, there are two types of primary meristems. One is the apical and other is the intercalary. The apical meristems are the ones which occur at the root tip or shoots and they are known to produce primary tissues. So based on their locations also, the meristems which are found at the root are known as the root apical meristems and the meristems which are found at the distant region of the stem are called as the shoot apical meristems. So let us consider this as to be the growing plant. So as we know, the plant grows from the top side, that is the shoot and other leaf parts, and also beneath the soil, that is root. So based on this, the growing region of the root consists of the root meristem. It also has the root cap. The function of the root cap is to protect this root. And the shoot meristem is the one which will be present in the growing region of the shoot. The tip of the shoot consists of shoot meristems. Now let us see what is intercalary. Intercalary meristems are the ones which are found in between mature tissues. So as we know, the growing region consists of apical meristems. As the growing regions continue to grow, these cells will be going downwards, right? This is a root shoot region. Okay, the plant is growing now. So the apical meristem will get converted into intercalary and then it will get converted into lateral. Right? So when there is grazing plant or herbivorous animals, they will eat this. So sometimes the half region is being regenerated because the intercalary meristems, they start to regenerate the cut region. So this was about the meristematic tissues. Let us see what are permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are the ones where the cell lose their ability to divide further. These consist of two types, simple and complex. The simple consists for the divide of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, whereas the complex is of two types, xylem and phloem. We'll study about each of them in the subsequent slides. Simple tissues. As the name suggests, these contain only a single type of cells which will have a particular specific function. These are of three types, parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. The parenchyma are the ones which have thin cell wall and made up of cellulose. These are isodiametric, that is roughly spherical or polyhedral. Cells are spherical, oval, elongated or polygonal in shape and they have intercellular spaces in them. So as in the diagram we can see there are spaces and the cell wall is also thick. These are referred to as chlorenchyma because they have high chlorophyll content and they are live cells. So because they contain the chlorophyll, their function will be photosynthesis, secretion and storage. Then we have collenchyma. Collenchyma, they are present beneath the epidermis in dicotyledonous plants. Cells have deposits of cellulose, pectin, and hemicellulose, hence have thickened corners. As seen in the diagram, the thickened corners, they are polygonal or spherical in shape and found in patches or homogeneous layers. They have no intracellular spaces and these are also live cells. Their function is to provide mechanical support to the growing parts of plant and chlorophyll is present in the cells. Hence, their function is to assimilate food via process of photosynthesis. Then we have sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma, they are long, narrow cells which have thick lignified and have few numerous pits. So we can see it is a thick lignified cell wall. These are dead and no protoplasm is present in the cells or these tissues. They are either fibers or scleroids. Fibers are thick-walled, elongated, and they are pointed cells and found to be occur in group, whereas scleroids are spherical, cylindrical, and they have narrow lumen cavities. Found in hard shell fruit walls, pulp of fruits, legume, seed coat, and also in leaves. They are known to provide mechanical support and also provide resistance to animals for animals to eat. That is non digestible. Example where the cells are found is in the shell of the coconut. So those scleroids are present in the shells of the coconuts. We can see those fibers. So this is something which makes the animal resistant to eat the shell of the coconut. Complex tissues. As the name suggests, these are permanent tissues which have different types of cells which work together as one unit. So based on this, there are two types of complex tissues, xylem and phloem. The xylem tissue is the one which is the conducting tissue involved in the transportation of water and minerals from the roots to other parts of the plant. These are composed of tracheas, vessels, xylem fibers, and parenchyma. The tracheas are elongated tube-like structures which have lignified cell walls and tapering ends. They are also known to have pith which aid the transport of water within the cells. These cells are also dead and there are no protoplasm present. Varied form of cell thickenings and are also known to provide structural strength to the entire plant. Next is the vessels. The vessels are cylindrical tube-like structures which is made up of many cells. These also have lignified wall and there is a large central cavity. Here, there is no protoplasm present and the cells are also dead. Characteristic feature of angiosperm is to have vessels. Cells are interconnected by perforation in the cell wall. As we can see, cell wall, the perforations are present, which aid the water transport. These are wider and shorter than trachea. Third is the xylem fibers. These again have thickened cell walls and obliterated central lumen. Either they can be septate or aseptate. These are dead cells and again aid for water transport. Xylem parenchyma. These are live cells and they have thin cell wall and made up of cellulose. Storage of food material in the form of starch or fat or tannins. These can be radial or eggshell and both radial and eggshell together form the secondary xylem. Radial, as the name suggests, it will be in the form of located in the circular motion or circular form, that is radial conduction of water. An eggshell will be present around the axis. So whatever we learned was what is the xylem composed of. Now we'll see which are the two types of xylem. The two types of xylem is primary xylem and secondary xylem. The secondary xylem we already studied, that is the radial and axial xylem. The primary xylem is protoxylem and metaxylem. The protoxylem is the first form primary xylem and the later is the metaxylem. When the protoxylem is present at the center, and when the metaxylem is present at the periphery, such arrangement is known as endark arrangement. So we can see, because the protoxylem is present at the center, it is inside, so it is known as endark. When the protoxylem is present at the periphery, and when the metaxylem is present at the center, such arrangement is known as exarch. So remember, endark because the protoxylem is inside, and exarch because the protoxylem is outside. Phloem. Phloem is the tissue which is useful for food material transport, usually from the leaves to other parts of plant. In angiosperms, it is composed of sieve tube elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. Whereas in angiosperms, it is composed of two, albuminous cells and sieve cells. The sieve tubulaments, these are long tube-like structures which are arranged longitudinally and are in association with the companion cells. They have perforated ends and they are present in a sieve-like manner. There is no nucleus and cytoplasm present. So here, these are the sieve tube elements, and this is the sieve pores. We can see the pores from where these elements will flow. Then we have the companion cells. These are specialized parenchymatous cells which are closely associated with the sieve. So we can see these are in close association with the sieve elements, and they maintain the pressure gradient of these sieve tubes. Sieve tubes and the companion cells are connected by pith fields which are present longitudinally in between them. So these are the pith fields which are present. Next is the parenchyma phloem. These are made up of elongated tapering cylindrical cell walls and have dense cytoplasm and nucleus. The cell wall is composed of cellulose, and the piths, which are plasmodesmatal, exist between the cells. These are absent in monocotyledons, and the function is storage of food, latex, resin, and mucilage. Phloem fibers. These are present in the secondary phloem and absent in the primary phloem. Thick cell wall is what the cells are made up of, and once they mature, the protoplasm is lost, and these fibers also become dead. The phloem again is made up of two types, the protophloem and the metaphloem. Let us remember one thing, what we just now studied is what the phloem is made up of, the composition. These are the type of phloem. The protophloem is the first formed primary phloem with narrow sieve tubes. So once the protophloem is formed, it will get converted into metaphloem, which will have a bigger sieve tubes. So this was all about basic about the plant tissues. So we just have to remember that the composition and the words are different and the types are different. Composition is what the cell is made up of, and types is what are the different types it can be divided. Okay, so this chart will help you all to remember the types of tissues. So I'll give you a basic idea of how the tissues work. So when you water a plant, the plant will absorb the water via its root by the process of xylem, because the xylem is used for conduction of water from the roots to other parts of the plant. So once within the plants, parts of the plant, the water will be used, and because there will be also other sources like sunlight and all the other things which are necessary for the food to be produced by the plants will use them and start the process of photosynthesis. So when the food will be produced by the plant, the food is being produced in the leaf region of the plant. Okay. So this food will have, means after the materials or the substances which are produced, it has to be transferred to the different parts, right? So the phloem will help in conduction of this food materials from its leaf to the stem, then also sometimes to the root, then the flowers. So this function of transferring the food materials from the leaves to the other part is done by the phloem. And the conduction of water from the roots to different parts is done by xylem. So this is the basic about the transportation. You have to remember this. If you remember this, it will be easier for you all to understand the functions of each and different types of cells. I hope you have understood my explanation. If you have understood, please like the video and also subscribe to my channel for understanding such and learning such types of topics, and comment below if you liked my video or if you have any suggestions or any queries regarding this video. Thank you.